GuardianProline.com. Sorry,
Hello, UNI Panther fans and Overwatch fans alike. Welcome to week 1 of the spring 2025 regular season. Tonight, your UNI Panthers from Cedar Falls, Iowa will start their regular season against the Indiana Hoosiers from Bloomington, Indiana. Thank you for joining us on your Friday night as we get to enjoy spring as Overwatch is back in session. Today we have Bill in production. My name is Hunter, and as always, we have Joe in the booth. Joe, how you doing tonight?
hey yo, I'm good. I'm hyped for a new season. I'm hyped to be back in the booth with you. I think it's gonna be pretty good. We got a pretty good lineup for the UNI Purple team. Similar to last semester, we got Doomrad, Mr. Sir Claps, Roadkill, Totoro, Unlasting, and XNL. I think XNL and Doomrad will be swapping on tank, if I remember correctly. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see, though.
It's basically going to be the same starters that we saw last semester, with maybe exception being some role swaps, because if I remember correctly, XNL was a tank mainly, or mainly played some Reinhardt. I think this semester he's going to be playing more of that support role, especially as that Lucio, which we saw a little bit in scrims, actually pretty clutch on Lucio for a tank player from last semester. So really excited to see that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I do know. I think both of them play the new tank, or what's his name? He's the Scottish guy.
Hazard.
Hazard.
Yeah.
I think they both play him, so could be interesting. That guy is pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, I completely agree, and especially the kit that Hazard has, really benefits such a synergy with like Juno, some poke, and that's actually going to play a little bit more favorably, I think, in UNI and their prior compositions, as we see right now the Hoosier team is going to join, and their starters are going to be Genesis, Shazbot, Biggie Cheese, DNAT, and Trajectory. So I do not know anything about this Big Ten team for the Hoosiers, but it should be an exciting match nonetheless.
Yeah. Do you have any information about, maps?
Yes.
Who picks them and stuff?
Absolutely. Yes. So round 1, it is going to be the away team will ban a control map, and the home team will select the first map of the match from a predetermined map pool. That map pool for control is going to be Antarctic Peninsula, Busan, Ilios, Lijiang Tower, Nepal, Oasis, or Samoa. So out of those map pools, which one would you prefer to start off your season of spring 2025, Joe?
I like Samoa. I think the lava level is really cool. I don't know. Hopefully we don't see Antarctic Peninsula. I don't really like that one.
I'm not a big fan of Antarctic Peninsula either, just because of how it's kind of shaped. And of course, Overwatch, and it's been like this for Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, the high ground matters a lot. And you get a lot of high ground in Antarctic Peninsula, but it's very overwhelming if you have tons of poke and maybe you have a Ramatra on point with a Juno, and everything sort kind of seems to be heavily handed to one side. So I can see how Antarctic Peninsula could be bad. My personal favorite is Lijiang Tower. I
think we're gonna see that.
It's also like I'm saying Vanilla's my favorite flavor, but Lijiang Tower is a really good starting map.
Mm-hmm. And we see it all the time from teams, so they might just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like Ilios a lot too, I should say.
Ilios is fun, especially if you get a map too well.
Mm-hmm.
And you that's always the most chaos. If you want the most chaos, you do Ilios and then kind of pray to the RNG gods that you get map 2 well.
Yeah, as a Lucio player, I do love Ilios as a whole, especially the well map, especially the lighthouse map. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
Lighthouse map is also really good for boops, and it'll actually benefit if UNI gets to select this. They can select, X and L to be on the Lucio, and you get a lot of environmental kills that way. So that would be interesting.
Yeah. Well, we do have a second of downtime. If you guys like Panther Esports, we do have a new merch link. So last semester there was a bit of an issue, but we have a new store. It's at guardianproline.com/collections/university /collections/northern-iowa-panther-esports. My old habits are coming out there, but
Yeah.
if you type !merch in the chat, there will be a link for it, or you can scroll down and click it. There's sweatshirts, hoodies, jerseys, good stuff in there, beanies.
I think the greatest thing is that you get a fully customizable jersey that is, relatively cheap. Because I think the biggest thing, too, to note and kind of topical as we're heading into the Super Bowl this Sunday, if you want to get a Travis Kelce jersey, that's going to run you easily 120, 150 bucks. But you can get a fully customizable jersey for, I think the last time that I checked was $50 plus tax plus shipping and handling. Honestly, a really good deal.
Yeah, it's like half the price and you get to customize it, so it was pretty good.
Absolutely. So any other things that you're kind of expecting to see here? Of course, we have everything set up for, at least on our screen, we see Unlasting and Totoro being the dynamic DPS duo that we're going to see today. And I am so excited to see Totoro and Unlasting again on DPS.
Yeah, me too. We always see good things from both of them. Unlasting's get crazy on the Genji, Totoro's crazy on like the Cassidy. So maybe we'll see some of those. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played the game in a minute, so I'm not too familiar with who is good and who is bad right now as far as hero picks go, but we'll see. And it looks like they're gonna go with Nepal first.
I don't hate Nepal, but I'm
I
not a
don't
huge
either.
fan of Nepal either. And the whole situation about Nepal is, especially if you really want to go with a, I guess, push type of comp, a brawl type of comp, it's very confining, especially if you get inside that first map where it's literally just a little point and then you have a bunch of fall off and it's all within this castle. I'm not a big fan of that. Just because it's very restricting, but some teams might like that, and some teams might really enjoy how constricting a map like Nepal can be.
It's funny you say that because the map that you're talking about, the one that's in this thumbnail here, inside that castle, that monastery, I think that's my favorite map out of the three. I think I've got some kind of sick fixation with environmental kills, so I like the pit of death next to the point on this one.
Yeah, the pit's pretty fun. You can get a lot of good CC environmental kills if you want to go that route. And look at that. That's exactly what we are going to get. Opening map for the first map of the regular season for UNI Overwatch. What kind of compositions are you expecting to see here, Joe?
Definitely a Lucio. I think last I played Juno was still pretty good. I imagine they might run a Juno and a Lucio, go super fast through some of the chokes here would be good. I don't know. I feel like lots of different things could work here. We're going to see a Mayhem come out for both teams. My bad. Yeah, both teams got the Mayhem. Or not Mayhem. What is this guy's name? Hazard. I keep calling him Mayhem. I don't know why.
I mean, he does cause a little bit of mayhem, so I'll give you that much just because of his hit that he has. And for those of you who the heck is Hazard, what do we know? Well, he's a tank player, and he kind of works a little bit like Ramatra. He has kind of like that spike guard that you use to kind of initiate. You have a jagged wall that kind of CCs. You have a downpour, which kind of is a big CC area. And then, you know, you just have all that poke that you see right now currently for roadkill. That it's going to be so much damage, especially when you first initiate here on the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting because I know Hazard can climb up walls and stuff, so I guess there's a spot here he can do it.
And already initially, first picks are going to be in favor of Indiana. Hoosiers looking pretty strong there with the Shazbot Cassidy. Which, as soon as I say that, it's going to go ahead and be taken down on Lasty. Finally going to get the first melee kill, his first kill of the spring season. It's going to be a melee kill on Genji. UNI is going to go ahead and force a round on point. Roadkill takes the toe-to-toe Totoro with the right click. And UNI getting their first team fight as a team kill.
Yeah, as soon as Unlasting and Totoro get those first picks, things just crumble for Hoosiers there, and they can't really do much. So UNI's going to walk up, get their supports back, and I think they want to hold close here, but because they were a little bit staggered, they're not going to be able to.
Yeah, it's going to come down to whoever's going to get a first pick here, as you can kind of see how these compositions are very synergetic, as Totoro able to get the right click again on Shazbot.
It looks like Sojourn's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting to see what kind of patch notes were kind of made in between the end of last season and the beginning of this season as Genesis takes out Roadkill. So UNI down a tank, but it's going to be interesting to see how these different compositions are going to work out with, you know, the new patch notes and the new hero.
Yeah, I think kind of both teams right now might need to be a little bit more careful with who they're losing in these scraps, because both teams kind of just like losing one person at a time. Shazbot getting a little low. He goes down to Roadkill. UNI have the upper hand here. Bring in the rain. Both bring in the rain.
Oh! Both of them, as DNAT is going to go ahead and get the double kill with the right clicks on the Sojourn. Mr. Sirclaps trying to answer for UNI. 4 members of UNI down. But still, Totoro coming out of right picture is going to get taken down by Biggie G.
I think if Totoro kept hiding there, Biggie G's wouldn't have seen him. It's funny.
Oh, Roadkill gets the initial pick on Shazbot, who's been playing pretty aggressively as the Cassidy is. And DNAT is going to go ahead and try and overclock with the Sojourn. Doesn't get a lot of value there, but Biggie G is able to get a Doomrad. And here comes the Blade! XNL, or Unlasting, trying to see what he can do. Of course, I name cursed it, and he couldn't get any value on that.
You're good. UNI losing a lot of members, but they're able to hold the point like that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, an awesome job there by UNI, kind of recognizing that they needed to kind of go right now. And a big shout out to Unlasting, initiating with the Blade to create that space, because that's the biggest thing that you have to recognize in Overwatch, is being able to take that space when you need to, push the enemies away from the objective, and that's exactly what UNI did, and they got their first point.
Absolutely. And so I didn't see which map this one is that they're on. Is it the Shrine?
Yes.
Okay. I like this one. This is probably my second favorite out of the three here. The other, hopefully UNI win here and don't have to go to the third map. I really don't like it.
I'm not a big fan of it either. I think out of the 3 of the maps, this is my favorite, just because there's a lot more ability to flank. As we see Biggie Cheese taking out Doomrad, already kind of getting in the back line. Shazbot, who is now on
Ventures. That's a cheeky little venture pick. I like it.
Yeah.
They got 2 picks on UNI right now. 3, UNI gonna have to back up or reset as the Hoosiers get the first cap here.
Yeah, I do like the swap to Venture, because I feel like that counters a lot of Unlasting Genji, just because you have a lot of poke, as we see Totoro now swapping to the Cassidy. So I kind of want to see how this is going to develop as the Hoosiers are going to get the first ticks over.
I feel like this is a crazy Hazard map. Like there's
agree.
a lot of places Hazard could surprise you. Unlasting getting in there, getting active. Mr.
I do like
Sirclap
this
finding a
topside
pick.
play. And UNI's up 1. They're going to have to initiate here. Venture Shazbot for the Hoosiers trying to poke that back line. Can't quite get the value there as Unlasting's going to begin taken out by Biggie Cheese. Biggie Cheese down to half health. He's going to go ahead and initiate on Mr. Surclap. Go ahead, get the kill confirmed there. Totoro getting Shazbot. Biggie Cheese doing it again. DNAT finally going to use some Sojourn utility. And 12% only took over for UNI. Now the Hoosiers taking back up 38%.
Yeah, and as far as ult economy goes, it looks like Hoosiers are in a little bit of a better place right now. Their Hazard does have the rain ready to bring. UNI still building up some ults.
Yeah,
Doomrad switching to the Brigitte, by the way.
I do like the Doomrad pick. I feel like that's more of a counter to Shazbot's Venture. As we see a jagged wall come out from both teams, try to separate each team, and Biggie Cheese does separate out Mr. Sir Claps, and that is going to be a team kill for the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, that was a crazy Hazard ult by the Hoosiers there. Kind of smacked the entire UNI team. They got to reset here. Running out of time for UNI.
Yeah, 75% now, and UNI needs to basically have this initiation. Has to be clean, maybe get an initial pick, and you got to go now.
Yeah,
and I feel
Kitsune
like
Russian's about up. Here it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
that's Hoosiers.
Here's
UNI.
Pick. This is Surclaps able to take out Genesis. Totoro goes able to take out Trajectory. He gets 2. Doomrat with the primary whip. Totoro cleaning it up, and UNI is going to get it ticked over. Hoosiers with 96%.
Yep, UNI used 3 ults there. They do have Genji ult for next fight, and Brigitte ult is coming up, so that will be good for them, but they do have to deal with the Sojourn ult, Venture ult, and a Juno Orbital Ray, so could be tough, but we'll see. UNI's going to have to hold this push and probably one more if they want to win this round. Here's the Juno ult.
And it's going to be another ult for Overclock for DNAT. 2 members of UNI go down, make that 3. With Roadkill down, it's going to be a dead to right here. Unlasting, who tried to ult, save it at the end, cannot. And unfortunately, Joe, Caster's Curse, as overtime slowly ticks over, we'll be going to map 3 in Nepal.
Yeah, that one's tough. I think at the very end there, it just burns, or sorry, it just turns into ult economy. It's kind of hard to play against that Juno Orbital Ray with the damage boost. Venture didn't even need to ult.
Yeah, I think that's going to be something that you and I might need to work on here is ult economy. And I feel like that's kind of what's plagued them a lot is they have it, they dump it, and they don't get the critical time to utilize it. And I don't know. I feel like that was one thing that they had to work on a lot last year. It's just cycling through those ults. We'll see if they can do it here.
Yeah, they're going to have to. They got to find something to deal with the Venture. The Brigitte was kind of helping, but I don't know if it was enough. They're going to go with Ana this time.
Interesting to see. Of course, we've seen Doomrad do Ana in the past. So there's some value you can add there. But Unlasting on the Hanzo, getting the headshot on Trajectory. So a member of support down for the Hoosiers. And UNI has to be aggressive here if they want to get the point.
Yeah, they got 2 picks here. It's looking good for UNI.
Biggie
This Hanzo, I didn't see the Hanzo pick coming. I like it.
That's something that Unlasting has in his back pocket. Any kind of relative hit scan is kind of his coup de grace for Unlasting. But Doomrat unfortunately goes down, but Biggie Cheese is going to get picked away. Mr. Surclaps able to get the mirror matchup against Genesis.
Yep, really good space created by Roadkill there for his team to cap. Unfortunately, Mr. Surclaps does go down, as you said, but Hoosiers have to regroup here, so I think they're going to start attacking the point right as Mr. Surclaps gets back. They might be taxing. I think they lost 2. Yeah, the Totoro goes down now.
Yeah, UNI with those huge saggers. Biggie Cheese going to go ahead, cap the point. First ticks over for the Hoosiers. UNI at 18%. But Unlasting, headshot on Genesis again. UNI is going to have to full throttle here.
Yeah, finding that support pick is huge here. Really slows down their push. Fortunately, he goes down, but they got the hazard. This is huge for UNI.
Yeah, UNI's going to have to press here, and of course, Totoro goes ahead and gets the flashbang kill on Shazbot, and Roadkill picking up 2 with the hazard.
I mean, it's just that simple, Hunter. When the enemy team loses their tank, you as a tank player, you gotta press the gas. You gotta go in.
Yeah, that's the big thing too. And when you go to one tank Overwatch, the tank player is so critical here. Lasting with 3.
You do not want to get caught in that room versus a Hanzo. I'll tell you what. And the hazard ult in there was pretty devastating.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. So good job by UNI. I think they do a good job. Of course, they need to work on ult economy, but their synergy with ultimates, chef kiss.
Yeah, they still got 2 here as Genesis uses the Kitsune Rush for Hoosiers. No picks coming out. Both high noons coming out.
Oh, at OK Corral. Unfortunate. Jazzbot picking up 2, catching them out in the little room, and DNA gonna overclock, try to get on the point. Looking around, he has to deal with Biggie Cheese, who is going to, or excuse me, with Roadkill, has to go in through, as DNA will go ahead and get the kill confirm on Roadkill, and UNI, who has 84% ticked over, 25% for the Hoosiers.
It's pretty awkward. Both high noons kind of looking at each other, and the Venture pushing Totoro into that room. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, hopefully UNI, of course, you can initiate with the Kitsune Rush.
Or they have to be careful here. The Venture ult is coming up for Hoosiers. It could be a really devastating spot as both teams lose 1 player here. UNI losing 2. Yep.
Yep, your DNA is going to get the right click. Shazbot picking up on Lasting. It's going to be another force breakup between UNI. They're not playing together. Roadkill is going to try and take the solo against Biggie Cheese. Cannot. And 60% picked over. So sorry, I interrupted you, Joe.
No, you're good. I think that push would have gone well for UNI, except they staggered out the door in a weird way. I think it was either Totoro or Unlasting who was out first, and they ended up getting picked off. I think the hazard has to go out first.
Yeah, I agree. I would also like to see an initiation, like I was going to try and say, with Mr. Sirclaps here, as it's going to be initiated on point. And the Juno ult gets up as well. 2 members of UNI go down, but UNI will get the successful tick over, but it's to no avail. But all 5 members of UNI go down, and you use 2 ults. That is not what you want to see, Joe.
No, it isn't, especially with, 10% remaining. Lucio pick coming out. Doomrad gonna go in here, try to get the touch. Here's the rollout. Oh, he gets shut down. Hanzo ult coming out from Unlasting. Getting some space created. Roadkill is in the point as ball.
Yeah, we do like a ball point. Of course, you got trajectory down low. He's gonna try and hide. You can't hide from Roadkill. Overtime ticking over, and as ball, you just have to create as much distraction as humanly possible.
Oh,
he's trapped
he gets
right
trapped
outside. And unfortunate that UNI, with the team kill, will lose map 1, 2-1 against the Hoosiers.
Yep, super close game 1 there for UNI. I think it was just tough, in that last map. I think both of their last pushes, they did get staggered in a weird way, especially the very last push. Roadkill and Mr. Sirclaps were able to get on, but Totoro, Unlasting, the rest of the team was kind of cut off in the doorway. They did end up getting to the point, but I think just the amount of time that it took kind of ended up, screwing them over. So going into game 2 here, let me look at the rules really quick. So loser UNI will pick between hybrid or escort, and then once selected, the Hoosiers will ban 1 map from that pool, and then UNI will pick from the remaining maps in that type, and then Hoosiers get to pick the time inside. So we're going to hybrid and escort, which means we get Blizzard World, Eichenwald, Hollywood, Kings Row, Midtown, Numbani, and Parisio for hybrid. And then for escort, there's Circuit, Royale, Dorado, Havana, Junkenstein, Rialto, Route 66, Shambhala Monastery, or Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Which is interesting to see Watchpoint Gibraltar back on as an escort map. I don't think that was prior available, at least last semester.
Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of teams don't they call it Jibby. Personally, I do like it, but I can see how people don't like it. There's some sight lines that are difficult. and some chokes that are difficult. I think there's a lot of interesting choices for both escort and hybrid, and I'm going to reserve my judgment for when they decide what they're going to go with.
Yeah, if I was UNI, if I had to pick a map mode, I would almost want to use a hybrid. Maybe you can use roadkill again on the. I want to say maybe bring back the hazard. Of course, Biggie Cheese's hazard was very good,
Yeah.
and with it being a new character, his utility kit is going to be a little bit more overpowered, especially what we saw there at the very end of Nepal. You know, with a lot of zoning out, you can split up a team relatively easy. So if I was you and you would, man, it's so hard with getting compositions made out at the start
Well,
of the year.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I just know the answer that UNI's got to do a better job getting the supports because at least from where I'm sitting, just watching the game, it seems like Hazard is able to pop off a lot more when his supports are able to keep him in the fight. And every time that UNI were able to find a pick on a support, like Unlasting with the Hanzo picks on like the Kiriko at the start of fights, UNI was able to push pretty far. So I think if they're able to, lock it down a little bit, kind of go, hey guys, let's go for the supports first, it will be a little bit easier.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Especially map one, they were actually getting a lot of picks on Shazbot, who was playing a little aggressive. So at that point, it's just kind of knowing when to engage and when not to engage. But I have to agree with you there, Joe. I feel like if UNI can get a pick on Genesis or Trajectory and then kind of do what they did with Shazbot and just initiate and play really in their face, like UNI, good rolling composition play, like they're so well to know, so well to do. I feel like they could get a lot of value there. And also, I noticed that they went ahead and picked Escort. So it's going to be
Interesting.
Circuit Royale, Dorado, Havana, Junkertown, Rialto, Route 66, Shambhala Monastery, or Jibby.
Well, I'm just gonna go. I don't like Junkertown, never have. I don't think I ever will. I really like Circuit Royale, especially as a Sigma player. It's a fun Sigma map.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I am a big fan of Circuit Royale, of course. More along the lines just for the
Oh,
verticality of it.
Hoosiers banned the circuit. Rip.
All right, so let's talk about another map, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you could choose out of the maps that are not circuit, what would you choose?
Honestly, I would pick Rialto because
Yeah,
as a
I like
Diva
Rialto.
player, you can get a lot of like in your face kind of pseudo flank going on. And when you have such a restricted kind of escort path that Rialto has, and you have a little bit of verticality there with the catwalks, you can do a lot of damage. The only issue is when you get to like the last third of the map. That's kind of where people struggle is that initial entrance into that final point. If they could go ahead and if you and I could just find a way to go in, they could maybe get a ton of value here. But what we actually see kind of flashed on our screens here is Havana.
I
So,
think that's
Joe,
bold. I think that's bold.
I would have to agree too. Havana pick is very bold, especially. But okay, here's what I think they're thinking here, Joe, is that you have Unlasting and you have Totoro. What are they really good at? They're good at hit scans, they're good at Cassidy, Sojourn, Hanzo, Widow, and you get a lot of sight lines, especially on this first map. You get a lot of distance and a lot of choke that you have to deal with. So you get roadkill on the hazard, or maybe even I'm trying to think on the horse. What is the horse? Orisa. You get him on the Orisa, and maybe you can do a little strong defense there. So that's what I think their mindset is going into. What are your thoughts, Joe?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Havana pick is bold because I just think of the last point. Outside with that castle, those sight lines are pretty brutal. Uh, I don't know. I mean, they did update this map a little bit, so like you can see in the thumbnail, this sight line is not as bad, but I don't know. I feel like this map is kind of a sniper hell. I'm not a big fan of that.
And I think because it's a sniper hell, that's exactly why UNI picked it, because maybe they're gonna go with the Hanzo Widow double sniper. As we see, UNI is going to be defending first, I believe, if I read that right.
I think that's what that means. I think if for them to pick Havana, they're defending first. Like that, I think that's what their thought process is.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
But anyway, I do feel like defense is good though, starting off when you're down 1-0 in the series, because you at least know where the finish line is when you go and flip onto attack. But as we kind of see here, flashed in front of us is the compositions. What are your thoughts?
Let's see. Okay, the Torbjorn. I mean, I love me some Torbjorn. And it's serious. He's keeping it. He's walking up with it.
Hey, I do love me a small Swedish man, unlasting, able to drop down the turret. I think that flanking turn is going to be pretty valuable here on defense, especially when you get on point 2. You have the catwalks that you can kind of drop in and cause havoc on a centralized team composition, as we see here. But Shazbot on the Ashe.
Yeah, that could be a little bit of a problem for UNI, but I don't know. Honestly, I feel like we don't see Ashe that much in these games.
Yeah, especially just with how it plays here. But Totoro on the Widow at top gets taken out by DNAT. That's nasty. But Roadkill able to go ahead and get the trade out there.
It's a good trade.
As Shazbot's going to go ahead and get low, have to flank back and get back to this team. The issue, too, that you have to worry about, too, is the spawn for UNI is so far back comparatively to the Hoosiers. As we see Biggie Cheese and Roadkill going at it at the top side. No value as the payload will go ahead and get pushed up initially.
Yep, this is kind of a tough spot for UNI. They do okay, finding the pick with the Widowmaker. I was just about to talk some trash on the Widow pick, Widow forcing it, but hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, Roadkill able to go ahead and pick up DNAT. And that was a good initial bend but don't break kind of defense that UNI had. Of course, I think it came down to the I guess picks in that initial bout, was able to go ahead and get it done, as Unlasting able to pick up DNAT as well.
Yep, and Hoosiers are just kind of stalled out right now because this Widow pick is kind of keeping them behind cover. It sucks. I mean, like, I think Hazard is an interesting pick here because it can close the gap, but I mean, what happened is going to happen. Your team is cut off by the Widowmaker. Hazard can't get the support he needs because the team is cut off, and he's just going to die. So I think Hoosiers might have to try something else here. Maybe a different route altogether. I don't know. What do you think, Hunter?
Well, I think what it boils down to, and I think the critical point here is, it was kind of talked into the chat, Shazbot could not pick Ashe. So you're swapping to the Venture. And the ability with Venture is you get so much verticality with, or I guess not necessarily verticality, but a lot of mobility there that you have to do with, as Roadkill picking up 2. Able to go ahead and get into the back line. He's going to look for 3. Biggie Cheese picks out Doomrad. Roadkill is going to go ahead and take the space in front of the cart. Biggie Cheese taking out Doomrad, though. And, all right, UNI winning another team fight. So yeah, I kind of have answered you.
You're fine. I mean, I just want to point out really quick, UNI's got 4 ults to work with, and the Hoosiers only have 2. I mean, they're going to get the Juno ult and the Sojourn ult really quick here, but I don't know. I think this game's about to explode, Hunter. Here's the Molten Core.
Molten Core, 110 left to play, and it's looking like a pretty close full moment for UNI. And Doomrad able to pick up DNAT. Genesis picks up Roadkill. That's going to be a headshot. Biggie Cheese going to work to the corner. Less than a minute now left to play. And the Hoosiers trying to make some space. Unlasting, small Swedish man trying to stay alive. Turret goes down. And Shazbot trying to work the flank against Doomrad. Shield bash. No can do. Tries to dig one out and gets the dash kill on Doomrad. Shazbot able to get it done. And Hoosiers now with 4.5 ults ready to do as they are going to maybe get the first point.
Yeah, this is tough for UNI. I think they were really hoping to hold this point here. And they are going to have to lose it and fall back. I think this inside part is going to get really hectic for UNI with the venture pick on the Hoosiers. It's going to be tough to deal with. As Hazard goes down. Good pick for UNI.
And the small Swedish man does it again. Unlasting, taking down Biggie Cheese. Roadkill trying to take that space. Now, if UNI can contain the Hoosiers right here in this choke, I feel like that's going to be beneficial to the time when it comes to UNI's time to attack.
Yeah. UNI holding pretty close here, pretty aggressive positioning. Oh, and I say that cover goes down, Kitsune rush.
Coming out, Shazbot going ahead, gonna get that kill. Genesis using the lamp, which I feel like has been a lot of value, hidden sneaky value for this Hoosiers team as Biggie Cheese is gonna go ahead and pick up 2. And Roadkill trying to take out the back line, finally takes out Genesis.
Oh, he was live for a long time back there.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, not long enough for UNI as his team did go down.
And the issue too with this second point in Havana is that you have to deal with the kind of steamroll momentum. As Totoro in the back line gets taken out by DNAT, so that's a big stagger right there for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, the defenders have to push through a pretty tough choke to retake here, and it looks like the Hoosiers know that, and they are doing their best to hold up and hold aggressive. UNI getting a little bit cheeky here, going on the bottom right path, but Hoosiers see it coming. UNI really split up right now. It might work. Here comes the Molten Core for UNI.
Yeah, DNAT, Shazbot, and Trajectory go down. Genesis trying not to go silent in the night. Headshot on Mr. Sirclap. Roadkill has to work off the high ground. He's low on health. Don't worry, Doomrad there on the Lucio. He's got the beat. Go ahead and give you some heals. Biggie Cheese, though, 111 health. He's going to work on the high side.
He's got to die.
2v1.
There we go.
And he died.
A really good retake by UNI there, Hunter. I thought for sure they weren't going to get it because they were so split up going in, but it looked like it worked out in their favor because the Hoosiers were just as confused as I was, especially when the Molten Core came out. So great job for UNI. They're going to push up here, hold the chokes. Really good positioning.
Yeah, with 22 seconds left to play, 86.31 meters pushed so far for the Hoosiers. UNI is going to have a full hold here. And Roadkill using the Hazard ult.
Really good.
And Shazbot going to use the Venture ult as well, trying to get some value there. Unfortunately for not. 2 UNI members down to the 3 of the Hoosiers. Doesn't matter. They didn't touch. And 86.3 is going to be the push mark that UNI has to make.
Yeah, that was a really good clutch by UNI there, able to come in and stop that push. You know, this is one of those maps you really don't want the cart to push very far because it can just be so hard to push here. And I wonder what UNI's got up their sleeve for their attack. You know, we saw the Hoosiers struggle for a couple minutes for that first push. You know, getting it through the streets, and I just wanted to see what UNI has got in store, because they picked this map, so surely they're thinking something.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see what the composition is coming out on Lasting, Genji, Totoro, Widow, Roadkill, Hazard, Mr. Sirclaps, and Doomrad on Juno and Lucio. What are your thoughts on that, Joe?
I like Lucio. I mean, I think either Juno or Lucio would be really good here, and I like Lucio, so we'll see. The beat could be pretty good. Mercy pick? I think that's troll. I don't think that they're actually going Mercy. There's no way they roll out with Mercy Lucio. There's no way, right?
Blink 2 times if you're joking.
Okay, there we go. Okay, we're gonna see Biggie Cheese go with the Sigma here. Could be pretty interesting. I don't particularly know how Hazard and Sigma play together. I imagine it's annoying for Sigma because Hazard's gonna get up in his face.
Yeah, and UNI's just gonna have to, since they know what their finish line is, they know how far they need to push, so they need to be playing as aggressive as possible with a full amount of time that they have.
Yeah, I think this tank matchup's going to be boiling down to is Hazard going to be able to wall off the rock, the accretion fast enough? And it looks like so far he's been able to not be hit by the rock, which is pretty good. But DNA getting forced out of the high ground by Roadkill right now. Hoosiers split up.
Yeah, Shazbot, though, going to get the pick on Totoro, Biggie Cheese on Doomrad. So half of UNI's backline currently suffering, and Unlasting is going to be tucked away back into that little corner. Is going to be taken out by Shazbot as well. So I would want to see, yes, Totoro swapping to the Sojourn, or I guess the Mei. I feel like UNI is going to need more pressure now that you have to deal with a Sigma shield. Yeah,
I 100% agree. The Sigma is going to be a little bit of an issue. I don't know. I feel like this Venture pick is just getting a lot of value for Hoosiers.
Yeah, I'd have to agree too. And I feel like it's just that one-on-one kind of ability that you kind of single out a target up close and you kind of get that trade. As we see a rock come out, try to mess up UNI, doesn't quite get the value. And again,
but Maywall, oh, not good.
Okay, but you can work with that. You can single out Biggie Cheese and go ahead and get that. But here's the ultimate for Roadkill. Able to pick up one. Shazbot goes down. Biggie Cheese, though, using the Gravitic Flux, trying to get some value and split up UNI. Roadkill does go down. So UNI down their tank, and it's going to be a Kitsune swap for both members. Genesis taking out Unlasting. Totoro trying to right-click as much as he can. Trajectory finally goes down. That's a lamp for UNI. Doomrad now on the Baptiste, trying to get some value here. 145 left to play. UNI trying to make something out of nothing in this prolonged fight. DNA overclock.
Oh my god, DNA is just pumping on top of this thing.
Absolutely, and that's a five-player kill streak for DNAT, and what seemed to be a pretty strong UNI push to no avail.
Yeah, I think things started to look south for UNI when Unlasting ended up getting picked off. It looked like he got stuck on the terrain when he was trying to backpedal and strafe and get out. Unfortunate. So UNI have a pretty tall task in front of them here. This orbital ray is going to slow them down quite a bit. I mean, they do have the Mei Cassidy combo. Here's the orbital ray from Hoosiers. Oh, and two members of UNI are going to go down straight away. I think actually that is a pretty early ult by Hoosiers because UNI can still repush here, right? Regroup and push?
Yeah, absolutely they could. But UNI with less than a minute left to go, they're going to need to make something happen, and I don't foresee something coming here in that small amount of time.
It's got to be the Mei ult.
Yeah, it's got to be the Mei ult, and I think Unlasting's got... Oh, and that's unfortunate. Maybe a final nail in the coffin for UNI, as that's a big pick for Biggie Cheese on the Sigma. 30 seconds left to play. Roadkill working the corner.
Biggie Cheese has been sitting on this flux. Here's the Cassidy ult. Not going to be able to find any value there.
And UNI going to have to work against three ultimates. Biggie Cheese using Gravitic Flux gets a lot of members. And Totoro finally back using the freeze, but doesn't matter. DNAT in the backline picking up two in the backline with the overclock. And that is going to be a huge hold for Hoosier Scream.
Yep. Unfortunate for UNI. We going to a best of 5 here, Hunter? Or is it best of 3? Okay. So UNI are not out of the fight yet. Score is 2-0 for Hoosiers. UNI are going to have to do a little bit of a reverse sweep here if they want to win this series.
Yeah, let's get a go Cats going in the chat. See if UNI can go ahead and rally here against this Hoosiers team who's been playing very consistently. And I think it boils down to the great play that Shazbot has today on the Venture, because every time that Shazbot picks the Venture, Hoosiers just kind of steamroll a little bit, and UNI doesn't necessarily have an answer for that. Whereas if we see Shazbot pick the Cassidy, that is a different story. UNI is able to kind of take that first map on Nepal, able to kind of get a nice little hold going on that first initiation in Havana. I think it's going to come down to Shazbot.
Yep. So coming into round 3 here, we are going to be playing push and winner will ban from the map pool. So Hoosiers are going to ban from the push map pool. UNI will pick the map, and then the winner will pick the map time inside. And for maps for push, we've got Coliseo, Esperanza, New Queen Street, and Runasapi.
Which is a whole lot better considering that I think last semester, a couple semesters ago, they only had 2 push maps to select from.
Yeah, I think it was just Coliseo and New Queen Street.
Yeah,
Right?
so it's really nice to see here that Runasapi is on the map, and I'm a big fan of Runasapi. I don't care
do too.
what anybody
I do too.
says. Runasapi is a fun map.
Yeah, I agree. I think it does struggle with the same issue that all push maps have, where you got to win a couple fights in a row if you're losing to be able to actually get progress. But as far as how it plays out, I think it's my favorite. I think that there's a lot of interesting paths you can take through the map. Definitely a lot more interesting paths than Coliseo and New Queen Street, but
I think out of
we'll
all
see.
of them, New Queen Street is like my favorite from like a competitive standpoint. My least favorite is Coliseo.
Yeah.
UNI though does a great job in Coliseo. At least they did last semester.
Yeah, and Coliseo did get changed a bit a couple months ago, and it's not as bad. There are like the middle of the map is a little bit more I'll say open. Like there aren't those big windows you can just walk through. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think the other main thing to maybe think about here is Esperanza might be more favorable to the Hazard play style, just because you have that first kind of like neutral point that you have to kind of deal with. That maybe is a little bit more beneficial because you have to kind of play that, but I don't know. I'm trying to find a reason to pick Esperanza, but I don't think there is one.
Yeah, and it looks like it's gonna get banned. But
Good.
really quick, while we do have some captive audience, I do want to say if you guys like Panther Esports and you want to support us, type !merch and click the link, or scroll down and click it, or you can go to, this is all going to the same place, guardianproline.com/collection/northern-iowa-panther-esports. There's jerseys, t-shirts, sweatshirts, beanies, all for pretty good price. Like the jerseys are like half the price of an official NFL jersey, and you can customize it. So
Yeah.
definitely check that out if you want to support us, or leave a Go Cats in the chat. That helps.
Yeah, go Cats. UNI currently down 2-0 in the series, best of 5. So it's all going to come down to this push map, which UNI has done some success in the past with the push. So looks like we are going to go with Coliseo is going to be the pick here, Joe.
Yep. Interesting. UNI gonna have to clutch up here. 3 games in a row.
Which,
I think they can do it, but I don't want to cast or curse it.
I hope and a prayer, right?
Yeah.
UNI can maybe come out of whatever funk that they kind of feel here. Of course, Vandium, the coach on this team, really good with mentals, trying to get his team up, trying to make them communicate. And maybe this is a really good map to kind of bounce back from. Might just be a comfort pick. I would love to see what the win percentage is for UNI on Coliseo, because I almost want to say it's above 50%.
Yeah, it feels like it's above 50%. I think for UNI to be able to win this here, I think we know both teams are probably going to go with the Hazard here. If UNI are able to kind of maybe bait out the Hazard engage, because you know Hazard's going to go in. If you're able to bait it out, maybe you can work off of that and get a pick on a support when he's not looking, because he's going in. But you got to be careful because he can kill one of your guys. So I don't know. We'll have to see what the tanks are going to be. We did see Biggie Cheese switch it up with the Sigma last round. Maybe he'll go Sigma again.
I do like the Sigma pick here. There's like, because of the verticality and because you have the rock, you get so much stagger, and there's a lot of value with that, especially when you're kind of counterplaying into kind of some squishy poke.
Ready for battle.
Okay. He's covering the Junker Queen right now. And on lasting, covering the Pharah. I wonder if they're going to keep it. Got a lasting Pharah, Totoro, Widow, Roadkill, Hazard, Mr. Circlaps, Kiriko, Doomred, Ana. And then for Hoosiers, we got the DNA, Sojourn again, the Shazbot Venture again. You and I got to deal with those two. Biggie Cheese on the Junker Queen, Genesis on the Kiriko, and Trajectory on the Juno.
I don't hate the Biggie Cheese JQ pick.
Neither do I.
That's actually pretty good on Coliseum.
Yep. It might be kind of tough versus the Pharah, but we'll see how that plays out.
All right, and it's all going to come down to the first fight, too. The first fight is huge, but I'm lasting here on the Pharah. How about that? That's pretty unique.
Yeah, I think it's a cheeky pick for sure. I doubt Hoosiers would have seen it coming. It's going to be coming down to Sojourn to be dealing with that Pharah, and they're not able to as DNA goes down really quick here. Mr. Circlaps also going down. So things can be kind of tough for UNI being down a support.
And UNI also able to take out one of the members of the Hoosiers. So again, this map kind of favors a little more in favor of the first.
It's a tank pick. You got to go in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to go in. UNI gonna have to try and find something here in lasting, and Totoro on their hit scans. Or excuse me, Totoro just on his hit scan on lasting. But Roadkill able to pick up one more on DNAT. So maybe if they can bully DNAT and get that 4 versus 5 team fight every time, you kind of take those.
UNI taking the lead really quick here. So Hoosiers gonna have to beat them probably twice to be able to retake the lead here, as UNI are starting to push up closer and closer to this little bridge choke. Pharah value. It's really annoying for Hoosiers, it looks like. I don't think Pharah's getting too many, solo kills, but just the constant threat, of taking a rocket or two to the face has got to be annoying.
Yeah, but you also have to deal with this here as the ultimate comes out for Roadkill. He's going to be at half health. He's going to get purple. Big Cheese. Cheese. Unfortunate. 2 members of UNI go down. And that is not what you want to see with an initial engagement for Roadkill.
It's okay though. This is push. UNI are going to be coming back into their whole team as Hoosiers are trying to get the lead here. So UNI have a chance to shut it down. They can't get picked though. So the stagger on the push maps is really what you got to be careful of. Like right now, Roadkill getting pulled out of position by the JQ, but he doesn't care. He's going in. JQ on his back line, doing a little bit of a turnaround, gets the JQ. That's what I'm talking about, Hunter, baiting out the engagements from the tank.
Yeah, and also off screen, we saw 2 members of the Hoosiers go down as well. So a nice coordinated plan of attack. And maybe that might be the win condition here, Joe, is that UNI has to maybe split up the Hoosiers, get the push on the robot, and kind of pick them off one by one. That's kind of what this unlasting Pharah pick is that we're going to have here. But also
he's sneaking for the barrage. Here he is. Okay,
yeah.
Stay quiet. Don't want to get caught.
We gotta be very, very quiet. Trying to look for an unlasting, sneaky little.
Hoosiers don't know.
Kitsune Rush comes out. Here comes unlasting. He finds one. Looking for another.
2.
Pick it up. And Biggie Cheese, though, taking out Totoro. Nice purple coming out for UNI. Unfortunately, Doomrad and Totoro come out. And no can do. Biggie Cheese is just too much of a force on the JQ. And that's the important thing about Coliseum, is that JQ kind of steamrolls a little bit.
Roadkill's a little rat right now. I don't know if you saw him get away there, but that was cheeky.
Absolutely. As unlasting, or excuse me, as Roadkill, gonna fight on the high ground. The Hoosiers, 3.6 meters away, still haven't taken the lead yet, as UNI is gonna take back the robot. But Roadkill picking out DNAT. UNI needs to push that.
Yeah, I agree. Hoosiers are down a member. UNI got to step it up a little bit. Oh, Kiriko getting nanoed.
All right. Let's go, Kiriko. Mr. Circlap, see what you can do. Can't do much against that axe against Biggie Cheese, who's gone absolutely crazy on the JQ right now.
Unlasting still alive on the Pharah, being quite a thorn in Hoosier's side. I think he's going to make it out. He does. He had to be at like 1 health when he made it out. That was crazy. Totoro finding a cheeky pick on DNA. You and I got to press the advantage here.
Absolutely. With 5:20 left play.
Before the forward spawn, they gotta hurry.
The forward spawn is going to be the most important here. Kitsune rush for Mr. Sirclaps and UNI, trying to find some value on point. 2 members of Hoosiers go down. Roadkill and Unlasting gonna try and get the pick on Shazbot. Been a pain all day. That's a nice trade out though.
Yeah, I think you know, initially I was a little bit worried about forcing the Widow versus Shazbot Venture because we've seen how we've seen we've seen how effective Shazbot has been on the Venture, but I think it's good. I feel like it's baiting Shazbot to go after the Widow and then just have like one character not doing as much. As UNI are struggling with the 2 team fights in a row here.
Yeah, and this is
Hazard
what
ult.
we expect. Hazard ult, Doomrad gets the pick on Biggie Cheese, so UNI is going to press the advantage here. You only commit 1 ult. 2 members of UNI go down. Trajectory, DNAT, pain in the side. DNAT overclocking, trying to take out members 1 by 1, and it's going to maybe be a forward spawn potential for the Hoosiers as Unlasting and Totoro get staggered.
Yep, that was looking really good for UNI until it wasn't. I mean, that is always how it goes, but oh my god!
Doomrad picking up the headshot here too. Why not? And he
Genesis just got destroyed by Hazard dude there.
vengeance.
Yeah.
Okay, Roadkill, we see you. We see he's trying to clutch it up here.
Roadkill taking some space right now for his team. I like this, letting the bot push up while he comes up here. The Widow Infrasight coming out, getting a nice pick on DNA. That's huge for UNI.
Good job, Prod.
another
Getting a
one.
nice headshot click there with Totoro.
He wants the Kiriko really bad. Oh, the rocket barrage! If you're gonna hide behind the wall, I'll come get you. Says Unlasting. He does go down for it, but that was pretty funny.
Yeah, but
JQ
it's all-
getting in there.
Yeah, this is a free kill for UNI. Exactly. But Biggie
Yeah.
Cheese, though, does get the axe kill on death. Totoro, though, is getting the swap out. So it's going to come down to point play. Roadkill getting the kill confirm on trajectory. Totoro getting a little hot there on the Widow.
Yeah, Roadkill and Totoro gotta be careful right now because this is like super stagger territory for UNI. Half the team is not there. Here comes Venture. Here comes the Kitsune rush from Hoosiers. Venture has ult too. A lot of ults ready for Hoosiers.
Yeah, Mr. Sirclaps has the Kitsune rush too. Good idea for UNI. Kind of let the bend but don't break offense kind of happen here. 2:30 left to play, and UNI has to push it only 5 meters.
This is a really good spot for UNI though, as they have a Kitsune rush in this long hallway. Are they gonna use it?
Orbital Ray is going to come out for the Hoosiers. DNA T going to get the pick on Unlasting. UNI kind of using that lamp to their advantage, but to no avail. DNA T, he's picking up 2 more. Biggie Cheese going ahead, pressing the attack. Roadkill goes down as well, and UNI doesn't have an answer for this dynamic DPS duo of DNA T and Chazbot.
Yeah, I feel like it's always one or the other that is the thorn in UNI's side this game. All games tonight, actually. So Roadkill gonna switch it up to the Ramatra pick here. I like that, but Hoosiers gonna have this forward spawn. So UNI are gonna have to win 2 or 3 team fights in a row in order to be able to come back without staggering. Okay, here comes the Kitsune rush from UNI. Here comes a window from UNI. UNI are pissed. They are using everything they got here. Here comes Biggie Cheese. The ult. Both teams losing some people here.
Yeah, Totoro trying to escape with the Widow, can't quite do it. And I don't know if you want to force the Widow anymore. You got to get some frontline space. And I would love to see, as Roadkill able to pick up a couple more, I would love to see a Junkrat right now. Just kind of getting a lot of buffer damage and a lot of stagger. Like you mentioned earlier, Joe, the whole reason why JQ for Biggie Cheese is working so well is because you have that knife, you have the pull, you have the separation. As we see here, just that's what I think
This ends now.
is what's working for the Hoosiers. As DNAT is going to go ahead and do the overclock. Shazbot picks up the kill on Roadkill. Swap to the Ramatra. DNA picking up the headshot on Doomrad. And these picks from UNI, I feel like, are just coming too little too late.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how I feel about the Zenyatta pick here versus sorry, the Zenyatta pick versus the Venture with the Juno. I feel like you're kind of asking to be dove. But I don't know. UNI, whatever they got to do it now. Here comes a great barrage, but not good enough from Unlasting. The rest of his team is going to be pushing in here. Stuffer as I have. Roadkill getting in there. He's getting active, getting 3 picks for UNI. Unfortunately, 2 go down as well. Roadkill right now is a one-man army.
Roadkill trying to clutch it up in overtime, and it's going to have to be a full push from here. Not only do they have to not have to stagger, but they can't separate from the robot.
Yeah, this is pretty tough. Really tough position to be in. I mean, they are really close. I was going to say the forward spawn, but, you know, they got to win this extra team fight to be able to get that.
Yeah, they got to win 2 or 3 team fights to get this done. Kitsune rush initiation for the Hoosiers. Shazbot picks up Unlasting. Could this be it for UNI? 3 members of UNI go down. Make it 4. Totoro can't quite get it done. That's going to be a team kill for the Hoosiers. And the Hoosiers sweep the Panthers 3-0 week 1. No words?
No, I mean, it's just unfortunate ending for UNI. It feels bad to be 3-0'd.
Yeah, especially initial off the bout. Just really tough, but big shout out to the Hoosiers for playing really good team play. They're just kind of a little well coordinated, and like we kind of mentioned, Biggie Cheese coming in clutch on just the hazard play, the Sigma, kind of the clutch moments Biggie Cheese, I think, was able to kind of step up into. Would have maybe liked to see XNL kind of swap Roadkill there at the end, at least to maybe get a different flavor, a different kind of caricature against the Biggie Cheese. Would love to see how he would have played it into that. But I think the big problem here that UNI faced is the Shazbot and DNAT duo.
Yeah, unfortunate ending for UNI there. I think hopefully next week they're able to lock it in a little bit. I feel like, honestly, Hoosiers kind of figured out UNI a little bit towards the end there. Kind of just were reading their plays, responding to them accordingly. I don't know. I honestly, the Shazbot venture was really annoying for UNI, I'm sure. Both Shazbot and DNA were probably really annoying for UNI.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see how this Hoosiers team is gonna kind of spread out for this season. Of course, UNI has some pretty tough competition as we're kind of looking at the Central B Division 6 matchup. It's going to be an in-state rival, Iowa State JV, NIU Huskies, Louisville Red, Illinois Westphalian Titans, Wolfpack Esports, Hoosier Cream, and SVSU is going to be making out your Central B team. So a lot of stacked teams from what I remember in the past. And UNI is going to have to battle tooth and nail if they want to even get a chance to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah. As far as interviews go, normally we do an interview. Do you want to do one?
I'm down. I'm
Okay.
always up for a good interview.
Do you have anybody in mind? I was gonna say like probably maybe Totoro.
I would like Totoro. Totoro would be good. I would also be interested to get maybe a Mr. Circlaps, Doomrad, Roadkill even. I just literally named 4 out of the 5.
You're supposed to say now we're just naming the entire team.
Yeah, we're just gonna name the entire team here for. But I'm cool with whoever. I feel like the strongest player today on this UNI team, probably Totoro, just getting some of those hit scan kills, kind of clutching up in the moments. Of course, Mr. Circlap's been consistent with the Juno, and there was some good play by Roadkill. Gosh, I'm just naming the whole team again. I'll just be quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're all good candidates for an interview. So I did just kind of pick Totoro kind of by random.
Okay. Not necessarily by random, of course. Really good hit scan play. Doing a really good job. at, kind of playing that. Of course, if unlasting, if you want to kind of put it in um, the how you want to set it up, kind of in basketball, where you have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like unlasting is maybe the one when it comes to DPS, being that point guard, being that critical shot maker, and the shooting guard going to be Totoro. Definitely supports the point guard, makes those high value shots, high value targets, as we kind of saw there towards the end, where Totoro swapping to the Widow got a couple good headshots in, gave UNI maybe just a little bit of hope on that last point, but unfortunately didn't get it to go.
All right, I'm gonna pull Totoro in here. We're in Twitch stream 1, right? All right. Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey Totoro, how's it going? What is your thoughts on the first week here of NECC?
I don't know. I'm excited, but there's a lot of bright spots that we had that we would just kind of mess up, but it's all about consistency. We'll work on it and we'll be better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How'd you feel about tonight?
Sometimes I feel like we were doing really good. Me personally, I felt like I was playing decent, and then there'd just be me standing still, just getting like soldier rail gunned. I need to work on moving around. I don't. There's just a lot of little things that hindered us and kind of messed us up. But then there's some times where we just played really good and looked really good. So we just got to work on just being consistent and playing really good. And because like that team, I feel like their ranks were a lot higher than ours, but I feel like we can play on the same level as them.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of saw you go ahead and pick quite a bit of head scans. We saw a little bit of Cassidy play. We saw a little bit of Widow play. Have you been working on your hit scan in the off season, or what kind of makes that Widow pick such a good pick here in like some of those clutch moments that we saw?
The Widow is just really good for just like pressuring. It's like that Soj, just kind of targeting her, keep her out of every single fight that I can, or just keep taking off that one pick. For hit scans, I'm just a hit scan player. I can't really play projectiles. I wanted to play the Soj, but they had a Venture and playing Hazard, so Cassidy I feel like it's just a better pick there for the hinder on the grenade.
I was kind of curious, and don't take this any way. I was just curious. You went with the Widow pick, especially in that Coliseum map, but you knew that guy was gonna go Venture. What were you guys thinking with that? Because it didn't look like the Venture was killing you too much, and it honestly looked like you guys were baiting her with the Widow. I don't know. Can you talk about that?
Well, we picked Havana, Coliseo, just basically for me, so because I have the potential to pop off. I wasn't really worried about Adventure. I'm not really worried about the dive characters because I know like our team is good enough with Pill, and I feel like I can get away fast enough where I don't die instantly. So I wasn't really worried about the Venture. If I heard the Venture coming, I'm getting away as soon as possible and calling it out. So, I mean, that wasn't really a concern for us. I thought they were going to go Hazard, too, but I think the JQ was fine by them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we kind of look forward to this or as we play into the spring 2025 semester, what is something you're looking forward to work on and get better at this season?
I just want to be better. Like I feel like people may look at me and say I'm good, but I'm always looking to improve. That's why I love this team organized play, is because we call each other out, so I know exactly what I'm working on. So I know I need to work on moving around, changing my positioning. I stand around a lot, so it's just like working on the little things, because the little things matter the most rather than you only being able to aim or the big things. It's like the little things that you do, and that's what I'm looking here to improve and become a better player on.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what it's all about. Glad to hear you have that mentality. I really don't have too many questions. tonight must have been a little bit tough. Nobody likes getting 3-0'd. So, I don't know.
Yes.
If you have any other thoughts, I'd be glad to hear them. Otherwise, you're free to go.
I did have one kind of quick question, Kenny, if you will. What is your favorite type of donut and why?
Oh, okay. A cream-filled maple glazed donut.
That sounds
It's
good.
just so okay. Actually, change my not cream-filled, jelly-filled because cream just fills you up way too much and I get sick. But jelly is really good. The reason is because maple glaze is just superior. It's just so good. And then the jelly filled. Who doesn't like a jelly filled donut? Let's be real.
That's true.
I don't know.
That's
I
crazy.
feel like filled donuts are. You always get like too much in your mouth at one time.
Pause.
like, I mean, like I feel like I take a bite out of any filled donut and I'm like, yes, I know there's going to be filling. Like it's not surprising, but then the quantity that ends up in my mouth is always surprising, and I don't like that.
That's like the best part.
My take is that the reason why you want to do a cream filled donut is because of its weightiness. You only need one donut. Okay, you don't need to buy 6 glazers. You just buy one quality cream filled donut and you're good.
That's what I'm saying.
Jelly, yeah.
Like you buy like a 6-pack of glazers. You're eating the whole glazers, man.
Yeah. And then I don't know, you just kind of save money if you buy one big jelly or cream filled donut, Joe. I don't know. Maybe it's
I
a
like
hot
regular
take.
donuts. I like the regular circle with a hole in it donuts. Honestly, donut holes slap a lot because you can eat a lot of them.
Okay, what flavor donut hole?
I don't care. It's like regular glazed donut.
Like a cherry glaze?
Ew, cherry is gross. Anything with cherry can go die.
Whoa.
Wow, that's a hot take there, Joe.
Yeah, I said it once. I'll say it again. Cherry is disgusting.
No. When you're coming okay, so Kenny, what kind of flavor of jam or jelly? Do you do the blueberry or do you do the strawberry?
Strawberry.
Okay, I see where we're at a dichotomy here. So, before we all kind of take each other's heads off, Kenny, good luck this season. Totoro, I hope you do well. I hope the team does well. Looking forward to see you next week, and good luck.
Thank you guys. Thank you for casting.
Thanks for playing.
All right, Joe. So, any other final thoughts or hot takes you want to kind of give before we close out tonight?
Not really. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for next week. Who do they play next week?
Yeah, that's a great question. Same time this time next week on Friday at 7 p.m., UNI is going to be facing an in-state rival, the Iowa State JV Cyclones. So an exciting matchup. So unfortunate that UNI fell 3-0 to the Indiana Hoosiers, of course. So hopefully it looks like they can bounce back. Of course, it's the start of the week or start of the season. They still have the whole rest of the semester to play out. So who knows? They can turn it around and maybe go 6-1 or 7-1. Who knows? Who am I to say and predict? But yeah, so with that in mind, last thoughts, Joe, or are we good to wrap it up? Or do you want to do a plug?
I can do a plug. Still got some people watching. You guys enjoyed the stream tonight. You can put a Go Cats in the chat, or if you're looking to support a little bit more, you can click on our merch link or type !merch. It'll take you to guardianproline.com/collection/northern-iowa-panther-esports. There are t-shirts, sweatshirts, beanies, polos, and jerseys. The jerseys are for a pretty good price, especially when you compare them to an NFL official jersey, and you can customize them. So if you want to support us a little bit more, please do go there. Otherwise, it's been real.
It has been real indeed. For those of you interested, UNI Valorant is going to be playing on Monday night at 7 p.m. If you like Mr. Circlaps, he'll be on that team as well. So thank you all for joining us tonight as UNI falls to Indiana Hoosiers 3-0, looking to bounce back next Friday against their in-state rivals. For Bill in production, Joe in the booth, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight, and we will see you next week. And as always, go Cats.
For the losing bracket, but I have high hopes for these guys. Kong goes to the backboard, double touch, and he gets it.
He's got sight and a good pick. Another good pick. And another. He's going crazy with it.
Oh! That was disgusting.